Hi, my name is Manju Kulkarni, and I'm a staff attorney at the National Health Law Program. This video is part 2 in a 4-part series of webcasts on the Medi-Cal program. In this session, I will be covering some of the basics of Medi-Cal eligibility, including eligibility principles, application processing, retroactive benefits, and notice and hearing rights. Let's begin by discussing overarching Medi-Cal eligibility principles and rights related to those principles. First off, anyone who is interested in the Medi-Cal program has the right to apply. This right involves a number of important components. Number one, there are several different places and ways that an individual can apply for the program. These include state welfare offices, local departments of public social services, hospitals, and clinics. Individuals can apply by mail by sending an MC-210 application into the county welfare office, and children and pregnant women can apply by mail using a joint application for Medi-Cal and Healthy Families, which is sent to the single point of entry. Number two, within the right to apply lies the principle that an individual or a person acting on her behalf can complete a Medi-Cal application. Parents may complete an application for their children, and adult children may complete an application for their elderly or frail parents. Friends and neighbors may also fill out an application on behalf of an applicant. Number three, for the right to apply to be meaningful, an application should only ask for the Social Security number of family members who are requesting Medi-Cal coverage and not other members of the family. This is important because in California we have a number of mixed immigration status families who apply for Medi-Cal. Requiring a Social Security number for other members of the family has a chilling effect on immigrants, often discouraging them from applying for children and adults who are citizens or qualified legal immigrants. Next, there's the principle of reasonable promptness. This is both a federal and state mandate, which requires that a standard Medi-Cal application be processed within 45 days and an application that requires a disability determination to be processed within 90 days. The third principle is retention, which involves SB 87 and ex parte redetermination. What do these terms mean? Essentially, the principle of retention means that beneficiaries who are eligible for Medi-Cal should be able to stay enrolled in Medi-Cal. So, before an individual's Medi-Cal eligibility is terminated, an eligibility worker must determine whether there are other ways in which the beneficiary can remain eligible. This involves the eligibility worker reviewing all documentation she has in the Medi-Cal file and contacting the beneficiary only if absolutely necessary to determine eligibility for another Medi-Cal program. In most cases, the information, including income documentation, residency, and citizenship status, is already in the Medi-Cal file in the eligibility worker's possession, so there's no need to contact the recipient. The fourth principle involves deeming. Whose income and property is counted? I described this principle in the first part of the webcast. Basically, income and property can be deemed only from individuals who are legally bound to provide financial support to the applicant. For children, it is their parents, but not grandparents or caretaker relatives. And for adults, it is their spouses, but not their live-in partners, their children, or their parents. We will spend some time on the next principle about notice and hearing rights at the end of this session. But I do want to point out that applicants as well as beneficiaries have rights to a notice and that they should be informed of any decision made by Medi-Cal regarding their eligibility and benefits before that decision is implemented, and that they should be able to challenge that decision through an administrative hearing. These administrative hearings involve delays, denials, terminations, and reductions of services or eligibility. Our last eligibility principle is continuous eligibility. In the past, California children have received 12 months of continuous eligibility in Medi-Cal, regardless of any changes in their family's income or resources. Now, as a result of changes to the budget signed by Governor Schwarzenegger in September 2008, children will only receive 6 months of continuous eligibility, not 12 months. Let's talk now about how to apply for Medi-Cal programs. There are several ways to get Medi-Cal without needing to complete a full separate application. It is important to note that an application for SSI, CalWORKs, or foster care serves as a Medi-Cal application. For infants, there is deemed eligibility. Deemed eligibility enables babies born to pregnant women who are receiving Medi-Cal benefits when they give birth to automatically be enrolled in the program. This process was set up because policymakers realized that babies have essentially the same income as their mothers and will be citizens of the United States as well as residents of the state of California upon their birth. This means that they meet all the qualifications of Medi-Cal eligibility. Lastly, we have presumptive or accelerated eligibility. For several Medi-Cal programs, there's presumptive eligibility, which allows pregnant women who are seeking prenatal care and women seeking treatment under the breast and cervical cancer treatment program to fill out a brief application at a healthcare provider's office and immediately access Medi-Cal services. During the presumptive eligibility period, which is up to 2 months, these individuals must submit a completed MC-210 form in order to maintain those benefits. Note that presumptive eligibility ends either with the inception of full Medi-Cal benefits or on the last day of the month following the month in which their initial application was submitted. Next, let's talk about other avenues in which individuals can obtain Medi-Cal benefits. For children, there are several options, including the Joint Medi-Cal Healthy Families application, which I mentioned earlier. This application can be used for children as well as for pregnant women. The application is mailed to the single point of entry, which is in Sacramento, California. It is not sent to the county welfare office as the MC-210 typically is. The greatest benefit of using the joint application is that it enables families to apply for both Medi-Cal and Healthy Families programs and relieves them of having to figure out which program their children qualify for. At the single point of entry, the children are screened for Medi-Cal and the application is either forwarded to the appropriate county for Medi-Cal processing or sent to the Healthy Families program for Healthy Families enrollment. Another way that children can apply is through the CHDP Gateway. The CHDP Gateway enables kids who enroll in CHDP, the Child Health and Disability Prevention Program, to apply for Medi-Cal and Healthy Families. The information from the CHDP application is sent to Medi-Cal and Healthy Families and treated as an application for those programs. The child can be placed in the appropriate program. This is important because CHDP provides uninsured children access to screening services, including checkups and immunizations that are needed for school entry purposes, but does not offer diagnosis or treatment services if these children have conditions or debilitating illnesses. Medi-Cal and Healthy Families do provide treatment and diagnosis. Next is express lane eligibility. Like the CHDP Gateway, this program offers kids a way to be screened for Medi-Cal and Healthy Families. Here, the school lunch application may double as an application for Medi-Cal or Healthy Families. This can be done rather easily because the school lunch application contains similar identification and financial information as the Medi-Cal and Healthy Families joint application. And finally, there are online applications that are available for children in many counties. These include the Healthy app, which enables kids statewide to apply for Medi-Cal and Healthy Families in certain provider offices or with the help of certified application assistants, known as CAAs. At this time, families cannot complete an online application from their home or office computers. They have to go to a provider or CAA office to do that. The same thing is true for a 1E app. This electronic application enables children to apply for several programs, including Medi-Cal, Healthy Families, and local programs called Healthy Kids, which offer healthcare coverage for uninsured low-income children who are not eligible for either Medi-Cal or Healthy Families.